during the spring.
Shona from ATB here at Sandown today, and I've got Robbie Laing with me. How are you, Robert?
Good, thanks, Shona.
Yeah, I'm here to tell all the ATB owners this is our newest recruit into our trainers ranks. ATB are very excited to have Robbie join us, and we've got one horse placed with him, although we haven't got it advertised yet because we're waiting on the PDS from Racing Victoria. So stay tuned to the website and you might be able to go into it if he tickles your fancy. So Robert, let's get on to talking about you. What was your path to becoming a trainer?
I actually thought of doing nothing else but train eventually. When I was 5 years of age, watched my dad, Eddie Laing, breaking in his first horses that he trained, and it was sort of the wow factor, watching horses bucking and screaming and watching these brave guys get on their backs. And then the next progression was to go to Epsom, where I was in love with horses like Craftsman, a little bit later on Bane, Reckless, and all the banter that went on with the trainers, just wanted to be involved and never really looked at doing anything else.
And Eddie was a very good trainer?
He was a very good trainer. I always had a small boutique team, and first started off with a horse called Powers Tour, who won 13 races, and then got a reputation of fixing horses with bowed tendons, crooked joints, crooked knees, and it wasn't until later in his career that he started to get yearlings that he was buying himself, horses like Manitou and Caledonian Boy, and yeah, he was a great trainer in his own right.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, I first started working with Robbie back in 2000. I've learnt a lot with Robbie since I've been working for him on and off over the last 14 or so years. I just blow in and blow out every now and then when I want to get my horse fixed, and I can tell you that Robbie is very, very good looking at horses and diagnosing them if there's a problem. Down at Cranbourne at track work, you'll often get trainers of all different ages bring their horses up and they'll say to Robbie, can you have a look at my horse, what's wrong with him? And 9 times out of 10 you're usually right.
Yeah, it's I think it becomes instinct with you, and probably you should, if you're a carpenter and you're with timber and hammers and nails and that, you should become pretty good at it if you do it long enough. And
know your craft.
I can sort of look along a batch of horses and pick a tendon, or one thing you can see a horse is going to get a foot abscess. If you just look at their feet, you'll notice one will dry off quicker than the other, which means it's got heat in its foot, so you investigate straight away. So a lot of it's just instinct. Yeah,
instinct and good knowledge and work experience. What made you decide to be a trainer? We sort of covered that with your dad, the excitement of it all.
Well, I did ride from the age of 15. I was still at school, and even though I wasn't much of a jockey, got heavy very quick. Actually, my last 10 rides, I really started to get a handle on where to go and how to hold your mouth closed when you're back in the field, and just things that I didn't know about riding in races. And by the time I was 17, I was 9.5 stone or 60 kilos, and later that season actually recommenced my football career. So jockey early in the year and a footballer later in the year.
And tell me about your football. What happened there?
Well, actually 1976 was the last year I rode, the year that I had my last ride in a race. And I hadn't played football for 4 years, but I was lucky enough to win the competition's best and fairest on the Mornington Peninsula. And then I went to Mordialloc and played 4 seasons in the VFA.
Yeah, and you trained with Melbourne and Hawthorn?
Melbourne and Hawthorn had a run, but it was only Saturday football then, and I had to make a decision, racing or football, and I had a little yearling I was breaking in around about the same age, same stage, called Ben Criado. I thought there was going to be more money in Ben Criado than chasing a football around.
And he did well for you?
Yeah, he was the second leading 2-year-old in Victoria, and was a top 3-year-old, won at weight for age, in a Victoria handicap when he was 3, so he was a great kickstart to my training career.
Good. What is your career highlight?
Can't separate winning the Victorian Derby with Polanski. It's been well documented, a $4,000 yearling, and to win. I know there's quite a few Group 1s in Australia, but it's one of the Group 1s we all aspire to win. So that was a great buzz, a great sense of achievement, as was winning the 2009 Grand Annual Steeplechase for Serpentire. Hadn't raced for 2 years, 5,500 metres and 33 fences, won by 12 lengths, and once again, a great sense of achievement with that win.
Super effort.
Yeah, it was a great win by the horse, and everyone related with the win, involved with the win. And 3 weeks later, my other great steeplechaser that year, Mazzacano, almost identical, 2 years off the track, came to Sandown and won the Australian steeple with 71 kilos. So that was 2 great achievements. But I think the Grand Annual over the 5,500 just edged Mazzacano's out.
For those of you who haven't seen me cheer at the races, when I cheered Polanski home at the Derby last year, I had friends that disappeared from my area, and I think I might have blown some eardrums of the people in front of me. So it was very thrilling. I was so happy to see you get that race.
Yeah.
Now, our next question. What is your favourite horse that you have trained and not necessarily the most talented?
Got a lot of favourites, but one that really stands out in my mind was a horse I had in the early 90s called Mantelpiece. He won 15 races, and probably I had a soft spot for him because he was seldom sound. He was always lame, had horrific fetlock problems. He only lived till 7 years of age. His cartilages in his fetlock joints absolutely just virtually rotted out. He raced his last 12 months bone to bone, but he was an exciting horse to watch because he could spot the leaders 20-25 lengths in good races and overpower them and win from distances. He won over 1,000 from last to first. He won the Kunji Handicap from last to first. Same with the Easter Cup. Went to Queensland, won the Eagle Farm Stakes, come from last on the turn to beat a good field of weight for age horses, and yeah, had a lot of big thrills with him. And as I say, won 15 races, but used to lead him off a pony, swim him, and he'd hobble to the races, but had a great heart, great will to win.
Yeah. And what's your favourite carnival, do you think?
Used to be Warrnambool, but now it's Flemington.
Yeah, funny that. Funny how it changes.
Well, you know, when jumping was
popular and
popular and in its heyday, and
yeah,
there was big fields and big crowds. I loved the Warrnambool Carnival, but we conquered every race down there, and it took a while to win a Grand Annual, but we won the Warrnambool Cup. That Mantelpiece won a Warrnambool Cup in record time, and we won the Wangoom, and yeah, we sort of ticked all the boxes down there. And the Briley was another one we won with Vindicating. So we've sort of turned our attention to training young, fast 2-year-olds now, and
it's really working for you, isn't it?
yeah. Well, apart from the Derby last year, we 5th year running we've won a 2-year-old race over the Flemington Carnival when Boom won the Maribyrnong Plate.
Yeah. And if you could have any other career, what would it be?
I would have been a breeder. I've always had a liking to study pedigrees, and well, the first horse I trained, Ben Criato, I bred him when I was 17 years of age. Picked out a mare from the sales and put her to an old stallion who people advised me not to go to, called Powerhouse, because he was 24 years of age, and bred Ben Criato and trained him up to win. And yeah, the horse is racing at the moment for us, Lord of the Sky. I bred him. In fact, I had him in the paddock with 2 other horses 3 years ago. One was Street Allure, who's won 3 out of its last 4 with Darren Weir, and the other one was a little cheapie. We sold him at the sales, called It's a Shame Billy by Azevedo. He's won his last 2, so that was 3 out of 3. And yeah, we've got quite a few Dane-rich horses coming up on our property at home.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, Robbie is a pedigree expert. You can ask him anything about any horse and he knows its family history within about 2 seconds. So he's very good. I don't know how he does it. What is your biggest challenge that you face as a trainer?
Buying nice horses at the yearling sales and then coming home and spending weeks and months trying to syndicate them.
Yeah.
Lots of sleepless nights. As Rick Lacey said to me when I was having a bit of a lull towards the end of Epsom's days, he said, "How many yearlings have you bought this year?" I said, "None." He said, "Why not?" I said, "Got no one to buy them." He said, "If you don't buy yearlings, you got no future, son." So I went to this. There was one yearling sale left when we had that conversation, and it was the autumn sale in Melbourne. I went there and I studied that sale like it was the Easter sale in Sydney, and spent 2 days out there. And I bought one horse, and luckily enough syndicated him. That was all Rico. He won 10 in town, and was a bit of a star. Won over 300,000. So we're going through a bit of a quiet patch, and he reignited our team again.
Yep. And what do you do outside of racing to relax?
Watch one of my daughters is a singer, Grace.
For those of you who've been living under a rock, Robbie's daughter was just on The Voice, Grace Laing. She did a super job, which I think she should have got through to the grand final, the final. Yeah,
look, she ran in the top 6, and there wasn't much difference between running 6th and 1st. The prizes were the same. The exposure was great for her, and she's picked up. There's been a lot of interest in her career since then. So she's a singer.
And you're off to Disneyland.
Yeah, she won a trip for the family to Disneyland, which
You'll
is
fit
great.
Right in there.
Yeah, a clown. Evie's a young Evie. She's a very good rider. She's a dancer, but she's a very good horse rider. She's keen to be going to dressage and show jumping. And Scarlett, she could be anything. She's a very fast runner, and she's an extremely good cook. And she even made her own uniform for a play at school. So she's very innovative. I've got a hunch that she might be Dad's helper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's a good worker.
Yeah. And Robbie, can you tell me what have been the best wins over your career?
Well, obviously your Group 1 wins are special to you. So we won the Victorian Derby, the Australian Cup, 1,000 Guineas, Adelaide Cup, South Australian Derby, a host of Group 2s, probably the Wakeful on Derby Day with Dream of the Dance. I've got a little thing I want to do in racing. I want to win as many country cups in Victoria as I can. So we've made a good start there. We've won the Warrnambool Cup, 2 Kilmore Cups, Cranbourne Cup, Pakenham Cup,
Stony Creek
Cup this year, Werribee Cup, Ballarat Cup. So I reckon we're more than halfway there. But some of the featured jumping races have been great. We've won 3 Grand Nationals, 5 Australians, won the Hiskin Steeplechase, the Von Dusa, the Briley, 5 Lachelle Hurdles, 5 Moonee Valley Hurdles. So we've ticked nearly every box there. Haven't had a runner in a Great Eastern, but I think we've won every South Australian Grand National, South Australian Grand National Steeple, Tasmanian Grand National. So we won just about every hurdle race and steeplechase race we could in Australia. As I say, the group races have been great, and a lot of Group 2s and Group 3s on the way through.
Many more to come, I think.
I suppose a couple that I should have mentioned for 2-year-old enthusiasts. Apart from those 5, we won on the trot, Flemington, 2 Maribyrnong plates, also won a Sire's Produce and a Magic Millions.
You won the Magic Millions?
I won the Magic Millions at Sutton Grange with a horse called Dress Code, when the South Australian Magic Million was worth $500,000.
So now I'm just going to quickly run through this week's runners. Friday at Geelong we've got Short Espresso and Royal Fantasy going around in race 3. On Saturday we've got Lonspresso contesting the Group 3 Heath Stakes. Ben Mallum's engaged to ride her. Sunday we're off to Singapore. We've got Lucky Lion racing. He should go well. He's due to win any minute now. And Kilmore on Sunday we've got Hippodrome. He'll be racing there. And on Tuesday, Swan Hill, we have Manor Trust. So keep an eye out for those runners. Robbie, we would like to welcome you. I would like to welcome you, and on behalf of the ATB team, we're very excited to have you on board. Having worked with you, I know how hard you do work. It's nothing for you to get up at 2 in the morning and start your day, so we're really excited that you're coming on board, and we know that we're going to have some success with you.
Oh, thanks, Shona. Great to rekindle the relationship. I've always got on well with Darren, right back to the days when he had Mukhtar Racing. We used to have long, meaningful chats in the owner's room, so great to be on board.
Cool. All right, and good luck on the punt if you're having a bet. Cheers, guys. Thanks. Thanks, Robbie.
Thank you, Shona.
Cool.